Another question that's been asked here is, how would you handle a conflict with management on how to handle this kind of a situation? For example, as an HR manager, you may not have the influence to spur the actions that you described here. And that's a fantastic question. You, as the HR professional, you know what the right thing to do is, and you advocate for that process to be followed. But you're just one voice, and there are other folks on the management team, and maybe even more senior than you on the team, who want to take a different road, who want to handle this thing in a different way. And you can see the writing on the wall. You know that this is not a good idea, and this is likely not going to end well. So you want to document the advice that you are giving to management. At the end of the day, you're not the one that's charged with making the final decision here. But what you want to do is make it very clear that here's the process that should be followed. Here's what your recommendations are. And uh, and then if management decides to ignore that advice or do something differently, then that's their decision to make. But you have done your role as an HR professional to, again, provide them with guidance on how they should be responding to this issue, and protecting yourself, right? Because depending on how the situation unfolds, and then and any subsequent investigation that might be initiated. When we see the Chicago Blackhawks case, that there was the internal investigation, we have the lawsuit. The NHL then pressures the Blackhawks, and they have an external investigator that comes in and looks at all these issues again. And you have very high-ranking individuals who lose their jobs, and these folks really had no explanation for their decisions other than they did what was convenient in the moment, right? So you had, it's rare that you have a senior head coach with the pedigree that Joel Quenneville has to be dismissed. Same thing for the general manager, who was an experienced individual and wasn't as well regarded for his hockey mind, being dismissed. And so the same thing, in any other public or private organization, same thing can happen, and you want to make sure that when the spotlight shines on HR, and what did HR do when they received the complaint. You want to have some paper trail that you can say, look, here's what we did, and here's how we supported the complainant, and here's the process that we tried to put in place, and others didn't follow our